Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is negotiation. Now we're going to do 2 activities on negotiation. Why am I talking about negotiation? Any guesses? When you go to buy your house and there's a price on it, let's say you're going to buy a $500,000 house, which would be a pretty average house in Perth now. Let's say you pay 500 grand. Okay, by the time you've paid off the debt, if you put down a 20% deposit of 100,000, you paid off the debt, you will have paid $1 million for that house. Okay, every dollar you pay at that starting point is $2 later on because of debt. Now, if you could have got that house for 480 even, you save yourself 40 grand overall. Imagine if you got it for 450, right? The price you pay is where you make your money. It's not where you sell, because you don't have to sell unless you're going to go destitute. Hopefully we all are smart enough to set ourselves up so we don't get into that position. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes you do. The price you pay determines how much money you're going to make. We are, as a society, nervous about asking for discounts. So I walk into Harvey Norman and I pick up my vacuum cleaner bags and I go, can you do better? That's all, it literally, excuse me, can you do a better price? And I've never been turned down. They've always knocked $4 or $5 off. Every person I see that comes in and buys that vacuum cleaner bag pays the price, whatever the price is. It's only $4 or $5, but for me, like, it took me 1 second literally to go, excuse me, can you do better? They go away, come back, and it's done. But people get nervous about it, and we beat it out of people, and we do this to our kids by showing that we are embarrassed or nervous about asking for a discount. So we need to overcome that, and you can do it politely. You don't have to be a ball buster. You can be nice. You just sort of, can you do any better? And if they say no, well then you asked, right? You didn't lose anything. They didn't throw you out at the store. But we need to get better at this, because when it comes to buying a property, and we're going to pay hundreds of thousands, we have to be willing to go in and play hard, because every dollar we pay is coming out of our future. We want them to be comfortable asking, and asking nicely. So I recommend going to the local market, giving everyone $10 each, and haggling. Go to the guy who's selling the apples and asking for 2 kilos instead of 1, that kind of thing. And let them have a play with it. This is great if you go to Bali, right? So, or anyway, I went to China when I was 23, and I went into a shop to buy a stamp where they cut your name out of it, and they said 250 yen, and I said 25, and they threw me out of the store. And I went, all right, and walked off down the street, and the guy followed me. 200. I paid 25. Right? In the end, right? And it was uncomfortable because he made a big fuss and he got really annoyed at me. And I've done the same thing with property, where I've called up and offered them, 25% discount on their ask. I've been hung up on, I've been sworn at, all that sort of stuff. I have done it very, probably a bit brutally. But you know what? Nothing happens to you. You just go, oh, all right, whatever. And often they meet your price. So start with something small. Get your kids to get the hang of it. Go somewhere nice like your local market, and let them have a crack at it. And at the end, you've got to decide who wins. And that's when you discuss value. So it's fine if I get that stamp and it's 25 yen instead of 250, but if it's a crap stamp, then I wasted 25 yen. So getting them to understand why they're negotiating and how to get value out of it. And it's very hard if someone comes up with 3 mangoes and 2 kilos of apples to say who wins. So make a bit of a judgment call with these things. But we want them to understand value and how to negotiate this tactic. So that's important, I think. You can start them on that when they're 3 or 4. Any child that you've seen that goes, like 3 more spoons of vegetables. No, 2. They know. They understand. Okay. Don't beat it out of them. Encourage them. Encourage them to do it politely. Without being rude. And then they end up with a piggy bank that looks like this. That's the point, right? We're trying to incentivize them to take that money then that they saved and not spend it, to go and put it in their piggy banks.